All right, give just a second and some more folks want to get online. Hope everyone's doing had a good night, doing well. Hope the work week's going well. All right, so I'm Matt Durham, chairman of the Oconee County Council, and we just wrapped up an action-packed meeting. Uh, we started at 4:30 this afternoon with a budget and administration committee meeting, and went to 6 p.m. regular council meeting, which was jam-packed. It was full. A couple items going to get a lot of attention. The main one being we passed a moratorium on subdivisions, large subdivisions, and I'll touch base with that in a minute. But first, I wanted to lead off with what we kicked off council meeting with, which was 3 proclamations. The first one being is, last week tonight was another night of champions. Last week we welcomed in the West Oak wrestling team, who celebrated 5 straight state championships. Tonight we welcomed in the Walhalla women's basketball team, who celebrated their 2nd state championship back to back. And I tell you, we couldn't be more proud of them. Winning 1 state championship is special. Winning 2 is incredible, and it shows intention and deliberateness and what they do, and excellence and sustained excellence. It's I was involved with sports most of my life, and played and coached college football. And I tell you, getting to the top's not easy, but then staying at the tops is even more difficult. And so we're proud of them and how they represent our community. And Walhalla's District 2, which is my council District 2, which is my district, which is Walhalla, West Union, and Mountain Rest, and they all funnel to Walhalla High School. And so we're incredibly proud of them, and it's fun to have kids in the council chamber. They always bring new life, and it's just it's an enjoyable experience. It's one of my favorite things that we get to do. Then we passed 2 more proclamations, and when I'm talking about proclamations, I get a lot of requests for National Awareness Month proclamations, and I turn most of them down, because if we took on everyone that was sent to us to request, it would fill up the council agenda, and it'd be hard to get county business done. So we try to limit it to recognizing citizens or groups in the county specific to the county, and stay away from the National Proclamation Months. But we do make some exceptions, and tonight was an exception. We recognize National Peace Officer Memorial Month. Recognize, the men and women in blue who wear the uniform. They risk their life every day, and unfortunately, there's been many, many who did not come back home at the end of their shift. And we know that all too well here in Oconee County. Recently, we had a very close call, but it altered Officer Watt's life forever. And so we see firsthand just how dangerous their job is, even in communities like ours. While I'm speaking on that, there was an agenda item tonight that had to do with, I'm not even going to name the scumbag's name, but the guy who shot Deputy Watts, his trial's coming up this month. And the clerk of court asked for extra money to be able to process that trial, because they had to pull 700 jurors to try to get a jury for this trial, because the shooting and Officer Watts and his family touched so many people in the county. They had to pull a large pool to be able to seat a jury for that trial. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So we approved that transfer. It came out of open salary positions that was in the assessor's office, where that transfer came from. The third proclamation that we passed is proclamation for National Day of Prayer, which is May 7th. And Reverend Wayne Morton, he takes the lead on leading this up in Oconee County, and there's events everywhere on May 7th. I hope you can make it out to one of them, because I truly believe that we have a lot of issues in this country, in our community, in our state. And I really believe we need to turn back to God and turn to prayer And May 7th is the day as a nation we can come together and pray. And so we passed that proclamation tonight, recognizing May 7th as National Day of Prayer. From there, we moved into business. We had quite a few first reading on ordinances. I'm not going to go through them all tonight. I will write about them later. If you don't follow my Substack, I encourage you to, because I put out a lot of information there. When you have time, you can take time to read more long-form content. But the ordinance I do want to speak about is first reading of ordinance on a moratorium on subdivisions of greater than 10 homes. This is going to get talked about a lot. There'll probably be a lot of confusion around it, what it is, what it isn't. Councilman Don Mize, he brought this ordinance forward, and I think he was wise to do so because we're kicking off a rewrite of several chapters of a code of ordinance. This is chapter 38, which is the zoning ordinance, chapter 32, which is design standards, and chapter 26, which is roads. And all three of those together touch every bit of subdivisions and development, residential development. So a lot of people have, over the years said, why don't you do a moratorium, stop development? Well, you can't stop development. A moratorium can't stop development. By state law, a moratorium has to be for a specific purpose. And this is because we're rewriting an ordinance that governs subdivisions. And Councilman Mize was smart to bring this forward because once we open the books on this, typically what you will see is a flood of applicants coming in, trying to get in under the old rules. So this moratorium pauses that, gives the council time and the planning commission time and the planning staff time to get this right. Because we want to make it right because the decisions and what comes out of this is going to shape this county for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So we want to get it right. We don't want a flood of random applicants coming in trying to lock in the ability to develop under the old rules. That's why Councilman Mize brought this moratorium forward. But the second point that a moratorium has to have by law is a set time limit. It can't go on indefinitely. So this is going to have an 8-month time limit. So with that, the county council and everybody I just mentioned, we got to get hot. We got to get to work to get this right. So there is legal restraints to a moratorium. Moratorium doesn't stop development. It just pauses it and allows, in this case, for the reason is so we can do a rewrite of the ordinances to get it right, to have responsible development. And listen, I'm not anti-development. The last thing we need to do is overregulate, like blue states have done, make housing completely unaffordable. Although I know it's pretty unaffordable already right now. So we're going to take time and we're going to get it right. Y'all know we've pushed hard, this council pushed hard for industrial development. And you may say, well, that goes conflicting. I've had one gentleman say that to me repeatedly. Well, we kind of have a divide in this county. So the county's grown. It's doubled in 40 years in size. We got 83,000 people now. But the amount of kids in the county under 18 was 10,000 40 years ago. And today it's still 10,000. It's actually declining. And that's multiple reasons. One, people have less children today. Two, Oconee kids aren't staying in Oconee County. If you grew up here or you've been here and you've had children, grandchildren, leave, friends that leave. I mean, if you go to Tri-County Tech or Clemson University or Greenville Tech, wherever, to get training, to get a skill set for a good job, a lot of people, they ultimately leave and go to York County, Spartanburg, Greer, somewhere else. They get a good job making $30, $40 an hour, raise a family. Well, we want to have those opportunities here. That's why we push hard for infrastructures to support industrial development. That's why we push hard for industrial development. OEA and Jamie Gilbert, their president, has done a good job of recruiting industry. I believe we're going to have a major announcement in June. But it all works together, and we want to have those jobs come in so we can keep Oconee kids here. This county has a lot of wealth in it. I think we're the 5th wealthiest county in the state as far as property value. There's a lot of wealth. But there's a big divide because 70% of our school kids live under the poverty level. So you get a divide of the haves and the have-nots, and not a whole lot in the middle. So that's why we're recruiting industry, recruiting jobs to bring up the working families in Oconee County to provide opportunities for the next generation to not just be, a retirement community for affluent out-of-staters. And now I want to be a community for all. I want to welcome the retirees, but I also want it to be a place for the families that's lived in Oconee County their whole lives. So that's what a moratorium is. If you have questions, this is going to be a long process. It's going to be a lot of ideas bouncing around. I would caution you, if you hear an idea about something the Planning Commission or the Planning Economic Development Committee of County Council or somebody's bouncing off, don't just take it and run with it. It's a process that's going to have to play out. And we understand the task and how big of a task it is, how important it is that we get it right. But just reach out to me anytime if you have any questions. If you do see this video and it's shared somewhere, don't comment on the share. Come back to the main page because I may not see it if it's shared, or send me a message directly. I'm going to look at my agenda here, make sure I didn't miss anything I wanted to cover. Boat taxes. So the state changed the state law on how boats are assessed in the state of South Carolina. South Carolina currently is like the highest boat tax in the nation. Assesses them at 10.5%. The state law lowers that to 6%. It's going to be phased in over a number of years, I believe 2029. We passed first reading tonight of an ordinance that would take and go ahead and lower January 1 the assessment rate on boat taxes in Oconee County to 6%. We said, the state legislation, they determine what that tax should be, and we don't want the citizens of Oconee County, the boat owners of Oconee County, to have to wait for that tax increase. So that was first reading tonight. It required 2 more readings. We also, kind of going back to development, we had first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 38, and this is just a minor amendment. It doesn't change the way the ordinance is applied, but the control-free district in Oconee County is not a correct name for that area because there are controls. There's density controls, there's setback controls, there's design standards that fall underneath it. So people hear control-free, they think, it's just there's no controls. And that's not true. It's not accurate. So we're renaming that to the general use district, and that name will carry forward into the changes that's coming to Chapter 38 as well. People say this control-free it's confusing. The large 5,200 home subdivision in Erie, the reason why they came to the county council wanting to do a PDD because, that's control-free, but that density didn't follow the ordinance as far what was the control-free district. So we're just renaming that so it's an accurate name and it's less confusing for people. That's going to take 2 more readings as well. People are still building right now. The moratorium just applies to subdivisions greater than 10 homes. So we're going to go ahead and make that name change now. Take 2 more readings. And make sure I didn't miss anything else. Next council meeting, we have a special council meeting on May 7th at 3:30 p.m. It may be 3 o'clock. I have to double check that. 3 or 3:30. And then the next regular scheduled council meeting is going to be on May 19th. I'm going to work to try to get out a Substack post to cover all this information. It's more long form if people want to take the time to read it. Please, if you don't follow me on there, go sign up. It'll come straight to your inbox. I'm also putting this video the audio portion of it, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you want to search for that, I just have it named The Oconee Brief. I've already went longer than I intended to. Looks like I'm about 15 minutes. But The Oconee Brief, if you search for that, it'll come up. I'll put those links too in the comments as soon as it uploads. And also we'll be putting it on YouTube as well, and it'll be video format. Just trying to reach people in many different ways as I can. And listen, I thank you for taking the time to listen, for being involved. Thank you for the opportunity to represent you to the county government. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. It's honestly like one of the greatest honors of my life. So listen, if you have any questions at all, please reach out. And hope you have a good night. Hope the work week finishes out well for everyone.